So I heard about this story the other day. I haven't really had time to talk about it until now, but let me look up where he's running or whatever. But yeah, so Eric Swalwell, I think that's his first name. Yeah, Eric Swalwell is having a little bit of an oopsie daisy right now, people. And by an oopsie daisy, um, I mean sexual assault allegations, like a big oopsie daisy. Like that's yeah, not good. So he let's see here, has been, I think, accused by four people at this point, of sexual assault. I'm trying to figure out Manhattan. So I guess it's in New York or what? Oh, California. Okay, never mind. Weird. Maybe some of the things happened in New York or something. Because it says the Manhattan DA opens investigations or something. So, okay. California's 14th district. So he's a representative. Okay, we gotta get him out of office then. And I think he's running for governor or something. But I'm sure they'll get all into it. But yeah, so basically, yeah, he's been accused of that. There's a big, everybody's in the Democratic Party, I think, is distancing themselves from him. Uh, I think that, yeah, he definitely should get out of the race, as Pelosi is so bluntly putting here, but he should also get out of Congress. But anyway, so this is get out of the race. Pelosi puts pressure on Swalwell after misconduct allegations, after sexual assault allegations. Misconduct is, a little bit of a light way of putting it. Or I guess I also called it an oopsie daisy, so maybe I shouldn't be talking, but okay, let's go.
MS Now has confirmed that a former staffer is accusing California gubernatorial candidate and Democratic Congressman Eric Swalwell of sexual assault. According to the San Francisco Chronicle, the woman alleges Swalwell sexually assaulted her twice when she was too intoxicated to consent. The Chronicle corroborated those allegations by speaking to family and friends who say they heard about the alleged incidents contemporaneously. And separate reporting from CNN says 3 additional women allege sexual misconduct by the congressman.
Yeah. Okay, so there's a pattern. There's a pattern here. Yeah, I always say my default position is, believe women, and unless there is like extraneous circumstances that are, discrediting or whatever. Like, for instance, if you have if a man has recently been put in charge of prosecuting war crimes against the Israeli, state or something, and then all of a sudden a woman comes forward and accuses them of sexual assault on the same day that they are going to prosecute them, then I would be like, okay, I think that we don't have to trust that woman in particular. But in general, I will always, my default position will always be to believe women, and especially when there is multiple instances of it showing a pattern of a pattern of illegal activity by this man. So yeah, I would definitely take these pretty seriously.
Including Swalwell sending them unsolicited explicit messages or nude photos. MS Now has not independently confirmed those allegations. Congressman Swalwell has denied any wrongdoing. MS Now congressional reporter Michael Schnell joins us now with the latest. Michael, thank you for getting up this morning. I know
morning, guys.
You were on the phone talking to at least one of the accusers.
Yeah.
What can you tell us about where things stand at this point? What you learned?
Before we start the conversation, just to note, I did speak to one of the former staffers of Eric Swalwell, who confirmed to me that she did make allegations to the San Francisco Chronicle and to CNN of 2 instances of sexual assault by the congressman. I want to note, MS Now has not independently confirmed those allegations. We have not corroborated those allegations. We're also not naming the name of the woman here at the center of the story, given that we don't name victims or alleged victims of sexual assault. It is worth noting as well that the San Francisco Chronicle and CNN did, as you mentioned, speak to family members, friends, acquaintances, look at these text messages and such. But the story here, as you mentioned, is yes, spoke to her and she did confirm that she did make those allegations. And this, of course, comes as Eric Swalwell is a longtime congressman up on Capitol Hill.
Yeah, it also, so for those like if I'm trying to like follow all of this too. It sounds like the reporters who got this information also confirmed via text. They said contemporaneous text, so that means at the time that it happened, text of them alleging it or whatever, you know. So all of this is pointing to, yeah, like it seems like he's just a serial sexual assaulter. He should not be anywhere near the realms of power.
Is running in that key gubernatorial race in California right now. The fallout has been swift and has been damning for Eric Swalwell. In the hours after these allegations first came out, he has lost a number of his key supporters and endorsements, members up on Capitol Hill, key folks in California, House Democratic leadership yesterday, Hakeem Jeffries, Catherine.
Now, I do want to go ahead and point out the difference here, right? Because I mean, sometimes we do get a little lost in as you know, I'm very much anti uh like I very much hate the Republican Party, but I also despise the Democratic Party as well. Um, However, I do think that we should maybe compare and contrast the general, I would say, like distancing and removal of support as soon as this comes out compared to how, for instance, like someone like Trump, who has been uh, found liable for sexually assaulting somebody as well, how that, like, most people, as far as I remember, when he was officially found liable for that, I don't think that there were any, as far as I remember, any Republicans coming out and saying, no, he has to go or anything. Now, I do think that the Democrats are there. I mean, they are also cynical people. And I think that, like, if they're only asking for him to be removed from, or like to drop out of the governor's race, like that's one thing. They should also be trying to get him out of office as well, including potential like impeachment or whatever needs to happen to get him out of Congress, even if that impacts your own power. Like I think that you got to do that. So.
Clark and Pete Aguilar coming out and saying they believe that Eric Swalwell should drop out of the race and that there should be an investigation into these allegations. I will note, when I was speaking to the woman last night, I asked, why now? Why you decided to come forward with your story now? I'll read to you a little bit of what she told me. She said, quote, I finally felt like I had the support to help me come forward, which was a huge deciding factor that I did not have when this happened in 2019 or in 2024. Again, those are the 2 years that she alleges is sexual assault. But a big story unfolding this weekend that'll have big time implications and ramifications, both in California, but here in Washington, D.C.
First of all, thank you so much for your reporting. You've had a busy and heavy week. And this is very sensitive reporting and challenging to do, so we appreciate it. Can we share a little bit about how Eric Swalwell has responded to this so far? He is flat out denying the allegations, despite multiple accounts that all seem fairly similar to one another. Let's give his response a listen.
These allegations of sexual assault are flat false. They are absolutely false. They did not happen. They have never happened. And I will fight them with everything that I have. They also come on the eve of an election where I have been the frontrunner candidate for governor in California. I have certainly made mistakes in judgment in my past, but those mistakes are between me and my wife. And to her, I apologize.
Uh-oh. I hope they're not the same mistakes that you made with these other ladies, because I would be like, get out now, lady. Get out, Miss Swalwell. You don't want to end up like them, but yeah.
Deeply for putting her in this position. For over 20 years, I have served the public. As a city councilman, as a member of Congress, and as a...
Also, I don't think that there's that much of a, there's not that much of a jump between being a serial cheater and being a serial sexual assaulter, especially if like the alcohol way or whatever, of like getting someone drunk. Like I just think that your morals are already a little bit scrupulous if you're a cheater. I'm gonna be honest. I don't trust people who cheat very, very much. And they're and so I think that yeah, I just think there's not that much of a step between those two things. So you're not like you're also not winning, I think, very much favor by just like claiming, yeah, I cheated, but it wasn't sexual assault. But yeah.
Prosecutor who went to court on behalf of victims, particularly on behalf of sexual assault victims. That's who I am and have always been.
Have you heard anything from the Congressman, Michael? And do you think that this denial is going to prevent him from ultimately dropping out of the case and out of the race and honestly resigning from Congress at this point?
I have not personally heard from him. I will note there was a statement in both the San Francisco Chronicle story and the CNN story denying the allegations. And then late last night, he came out with that video line that stood out to me, flat false. So completely denying these allegations. I think that the key question here, there are two key questions. It's A, what does Eric Swalwell ultimately do? And B,
well, they're forgetting the easiest option for him. They're forgetting the easiest option for Swalwell. Just start running as a Republican. Dude, sexual assaulters in the Republican Party are rewarded like hand over fist. Like just switch parties, dude. It's that easy. Come on, man.
what is he called on to do? What pressure does he face? So what I mean by that is we're hearing from scores of Democrats and Republicans who say he needs to drop out of the race. I mean, Nancy Pelosi, someone who is incredibly close to him, put out a statement and said, I spoke to him and I told him that this is something that needs to be dealt with and it needs to be dealt with outside of the race.
Well, let me read that the statement. This extremely sensitive matter must be appropriately investigated with full transparency and accountability. As I discussed with Congressman Swalwell, it is clear that that is best done out.
Wait, sorry.
This
I was typing something.
the statement. This.
I told him that this is something
let me go
that
back
needs
to
to be
the
dealt
statement.
with, and it needs to be dealt with outside of the race.
Well, let me read that the statement. This extremely sensitive matter must be appropriately investigated with full transparency and accountability. As I discussed with Congressman Swalwell, it is clear that that is best done outside of a gubernatorial campaign. As we have all covered.
God, Pelosi. Ugh. Yeah, that is so wishy-washy. Like, she's trying. I hate this, man. They never have moral clarity or like any. I guess she's not actually in office anymore, right? But as I discussed with Congressman Swalwell, it is clear that this is best done outside of a gubernatorial campaign. So they're just trying to get him to drop out. I don't think that there's any plans on holding him accountable inside of Congress, but
Speaker Emerita Pelosi, what jumped out at me is, as I discussed with Congressman Swalwell, this is best done outside of a gubernatorial campaign. To me, that is her publicly saying to Congressman Swalwell, I'm putting you on blast. I'm letting everybody know I talked to you, and you better get out of the race. So to your point, the pressure that is coming to bear on Congressman Swalwell, if there was one person who could knock him out of the race, it's her.
Right. And the question that I have, though, is they're basically unanimous calls for him to exit the race. And to your point, Jonathan, there's no greater, more central figure in California politics than Nancy Pelosi. Right. And her words carry meaning. The question is, will we start hearing calls from him to resign from Congress?
What have you heard from members of Congress?
I haven't heard that. We've heard from Democrats, again, scores of his closest allies who say he needs to drop out of the race, including Democratic leadership. Notably, they haven't called on him to resign. That statement last night from the top three members of Democratic leadership said we need an investigation, we need him to leave the race. It doesn't say resign. Right now, there are at least 3 Democrats who have called on him to resign outside of Capitol Hill: Tom Steyer and Katie Porter, two of his fiercest opponents in the race, and L.A. Mayor Karen Bass. So I think it's a question of, will we start hearing now from Democrats as this continues to unfold that he needs to leave Congress? And the pressure is going to mount on Capitol Hill. Jonathan, we were talking about this last night. The House returns to session on Tuesday after this 2-week recess. Lauren Boebert says she's going to introduce a resolution to censure Eric Swalwell. Anna Paulina Luna says she's bringing a motion to expel him. Now, will those have the votes?
Ooh. Okay, wait, sorry.
Top
I'm
side.
sorry, guys. I'm multitasking right now, so I'm not. I wanted to hear that part again.
And Katie Porter, two of his fiercest opponents in the race, and LA Mayor Karen Bass. So I think it's a question of, will we start hearing now from Democrats as this continues to unfold that he needs to leave Congress, and the pressure is going to mount on Capitol Hill. Jonathan, we were talking about this last night. The House returns to session on Tuesday after this 2-week recess. Lauren Boebert says she's going to introduce a resolution to censure Eric Swalwell. Anna Paulina Luna says she's bringing a motion to expel him. Now, will those
Yeah, so that's cynical as well. I'm sure that like they just want to get another Democrat out of Congress. And to be fair, I don't even know how much politically that would matter in the House, in terms of like having, like, say, not having that vote or something. Because I mean, it is close, but I don't think it's that close in the House. Or like, I thought it was like 5 or 6, like Republicans had like 5 or 6, or maybe even up to 10 votes over Democrats anyway. And so I don't know if that would be like a special election situation as well, because I know the midterms are coming up in November, which would then replace him anyway. So to be honest, I don't really know politically what would happen, if that would make much of a difference for anything. But even so, just morally, like, yeah, we don't want sexual assaulters in our party. Like, I'm serious. Like, we just don't. It doesn't look good. It'll demoralize your like, if you're talking purely in terms of electoralism instead of like actual morality, like, it will demoralize your voter base to then not want to show up for you if you decide that you are now going to be like also join the Republicans as a party that protects sexual assaulters and abusers. Like, so I think that if you want to look at it from a cynical political perspective, you should still try to get rid of him. He should be out of office, or out of the Democratic Party. I'm telling you, Swalwell, come on, dude. The lane is easy. Just stop being a Democrat and then just run as a Republican, and you will get heaps of praise, I'm sure. Okay. We'll
have the
finish
votes?
this off.
I don't know at this moment. But if that is forced on the floor and there has to be a vote on it, it's going to put Eric Swalwell's colleagues on the record. You're going to have to make a tough decision when they have to cast a vote.
Or not tough decision.
Or not a tough decision.
To me, having been through reporting many a scandal like this has the feel of a 1-2. Call on you to get out of the race, give you some time, and then calls to leave entirely. But these allegations are very, very serious.
I think they would call to get him out of the race. I think that if none of the Republicans were going to bring motions to get rid of him in Congress, then I don't think the Democrats would bring that motion personally.